Look at this weirdo. This is a dinosaur. Anyone else just fall in love? It's called Nothronychus, which basically means slothful claw, which is also amazing. And it's my personal local representative of one of my all-time favorite groups of dinosaurs called the Therizinosaurs, which is already a sick-sounding name, and it means scythe lizard, because their claws were long and curved like scythes. I mean, just look at this creature. The short tail and general pot-bellied physique with the long arms and huge claws, paired with a long neck and tiny head. I mean, there is nothing alive today that would be quite like running into this thing in the wild. And one of the best parts is that because of incredibly well-preserved close relatives from Asia, we know that it was probably feathered. Actually, the Therizinosaurs were only known from Asia for a very long time until a species of Nothronychus was found in New Mexico. And then another, even more complete specimen, which turned out to be a different species of Nothronychus, was found in southern Utah, which is a little confusing because there was a sea running through the middle of the United States in the late Cretaceous, which means this particular Nothronychus was underwater, which we know in part because all the other fossils from this particular area and age are things like sharks and marine reptiles like plesiosaurs. And then we just have this one land-dwelling or terrestrial dinosaur. So how did he get there? Well, perhaps the poor bloke just died near water and then its course got taken out to sea, or perhaps, for some ill-advised reason when it was alive, it ventured out just far enough into the water for it to be swept away by winds or a change in current. The poor thing just battling to stay afloat until it ran out of energy or got attacked by some marine predator. But anyway, the big question that everyone wants answered about Therizinosaurs like Nothronychus is what was it using those huge claws for? Well, you might think they would be just the perfect hunting tool, except that we have really good evidence that this group of dinosaurs, which is in the same family as everything from Spinosaurus to T-Rex to Velociraptor, were actually plant eaters. Look at its teeth, for example. These are not the pointed, curved, finely serrated teeth of a carnivore. These are herbivore teeth. So there's a handful of ideas about claw usage, probably the three most popular being defense against predators, or using them to pull in plant material closer to its mouth, or digging, like getting into termite mounds or something. A 2014 study modeled a bunch of different species of Therizinosaurus claws and then simulated the different kinds of stress they would be put under if they were being used for scratch digging, or hooking and pulling in vegetation, or stabby stab. Some, like Alxosaurus, performed about equally well across all three scenarios, so probably it had a more generalized use for its claws, but longer and more curved ones, like those of Nothronychus, showed a lot more stress under the scratch digging case, so it probably was not doing that. So probably the most likely common use for the claws was to help in feeding, but it's a good point that if its claws were being used for browsing and pulling down vegetation, it would be expected that the arms would serve to extend the range of the animal to a point which could not be reached by the head otherwise, and Nothronychus' neck was actually longer than its arms. So probably what it was doing was using its long arms and claws to pull down branches that were already in reach in order to get past the stuff that was easily accessible to the leaves and other good stuff that were farther up and farther back on the branch. Oh, and this author also points out that while there's no direct evidence of use in combat, it still seems plausible that the animal would make use of its claws when threatened. Because, I mean, come on, any animal with claws that are a full foot long would at least use them to be pretty intimidating. So as per usual, thank you for watching, and leave a comment with what dinosaur you'd like me to talk about next.